Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we're going to be looking at Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. A verse from the New Testament of the Bible that encourages Christians to be kind, compassionate, and forgiving. Once upon a time, there was a woman named Rachel who was known for her kindness and compassion. She lived in a small village where everyone knew each other and looked out for one another. One day, Rachel heard that her neighbor, Sarah, had fallen ill and was unable to care for her young children. Without hesitation, Rachel went over to Sarah's house and offered to help. She cooked meals, cleaned the house, and looked after the children while Sarah rested and recovered. As the days passed, Sarah began to feel better, and she was grateful for Rachel's help. But then, something happened that tested Rachel's kindness and compassion. She discovered that Sarah had borrowed some money from her a few months ago and had yet to repay it. Rachel felt hurt and frustrated. She had always trusted Sarah and had never expected her to take advantage of their friendship in this way. But then she remembered the verse from Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." Despite her feelings of hurt, Rachel chose to forgive Sarah and let go of the resentment she had been holding onto. She recognized that everyone makes mistakes, and that true kindness and compassion involve extending grace and forgiveness, just as God has forgiven us. Rachel went to see Sarah and told her that she didn't need to repay the money. She explained that she had forgiven her and wanted to continue their friendship. Sarah was surprised and grateful, and the two women hugged and cried together. From that day on, Rachel's kindness and compassion grew even stronger. She realized that forgiving others wasn't always easy, but it was essential for building strong relationships and reflecting the love and mercy of God. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32 reads, "Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." This verse is part of a larger passage where Paul is encouraging the Ephesians to live a life that reflects their identity as followers of Christ. Kindness and compassion. First, let's take a closer look at what Paul means by "be kind and compassionate to one another." Kindness means treating others with gentleness, empathy, and concern for their well-being. It means seeking to understand their perspectives and being willing to extend grace and generosity. Compassion, on the other hand, involves feeling and expressing sympathy for others, especially in times of suffering or difficulty. Forgiveness. The second part of the verse emphasizes the importance of forgiveness. Paul writes, "Forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you." As Christians, we are called to forgive others who have wronged us, just as God forgave us through the sacrifice of Christ. This doesn't mean we ignore or condone wrongdoing, but rather that we choose to let go of resentment and bitterness and extend grace to others, as we have received it ourselves. So, how can we apply this verse to our lives? Here are a few practical ways. Practice kindness and compassion in our interactions with others. This might mean listening actively, speaking gently, and showing empathy and concern. Make forgiveness a habit. When someone wrongs us, we can choose to extend grace and forgive them, just as we have been forgiven. Reflect on the ways that God has shown us kindness, compassion, and forgiveness, and let that inspire us to extend those same qualities to others. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32 is a powerful reminder of the kind of life that God calls us to as Christians. By being kind, compassionate, and forgiving, we can reflect the love and mercy of God to those around us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on our channel.